Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. You're watching Earnings with BQ, and my guest today is from Mahanagar Gas Limited, Mr. Ashu Shinghal, Managing Director of the company. Mr. Shinghal, thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime. Sir, can you take us through the basic metrics which we saw in Q2, because it has been you got good volumes there, but on a QOQ there has been some pressure on margins.
Yeah, I mean, the volumes have gone up by around 5% or so. 3.42 was the earlier volume, and now we have clocked around 3.6 MMSCMD. So it has increased slightly, but the margins are actually slightly down. I mean, not very uncomfortable region, because earlier it was 16 and now it has
Hmm.
come down to maybe 14.6 or so. So it
Hmm.
is still in a very comfortable zone, because we have to keep a balance between the volumes growth which we expect, as well as margin. And also, I mean, the schemes which we are launching also will have some impact on the volumes as well as the margins.
Sir, how do you see the impact of scheme for the rest of the year? Because there have been some price moderation that which has also happened. You have passed on some benefits to the customers as well. How do you see this impacting volumes for the full year? Because now we already crossed two quarters, and margin picture for the full year means, if, is there is it going to be in the same level, or there going to be some kind of changes as well as you go forward?
So coming one by one, the volume wise, we expect that the volume is going to pick up, because as you rightly mentioned, there are schemes which we launched in month of September, starting from first week of September till end of September. The
Hmm.
impact will be start coming in this quarter and the next quarter. So we expect that the volumes will grow up in these 2 quarters. And we, as earlier told, we expect the overall growth to be in the range of 5 to 7% or 6 to 7%. The current, it is not in that range, but we expect these 2 quarters to make it up for the, not the growth which was not there in Q1 and Q2.
Hmm.
With relation to the margins, we expect margins to be slightly better than what we expected, maybe around, earlier we were thinking it to be in the range of 9-10 rupees. Now we expect it to be in the range of 11-12 rupees. And it all depends on the prices of gas also in winters, as well as, but one thing is better, that the APM prices and HPHT prices give more stability to the PNG and CNG rates. And
Hmm.
as you rightly said, that the prices have been reduced for CNG 3 rupees, and also for PNG by 2 rupees per SCM. So that will also have some impact on volumes, especially
Do
the
you
CNG part.
expect further reduction in prices, or passing on prices to the customers of CNG especially?
We don't know exactly, because right now whatever benefit of HPHT was there, we have slightly, we have passed on slightly better than what the benefit we got from reduction of prices of HPHT, because it's
Hmm.
a portfolio that is accumulated of both APM gas, which is having a ceiling of 6.5, and HPHT, which was trading at $12 and come down to $10, $9.9. So that
Hmm.
benefit we have more than that passed on to the customer, seeing the volume growth we are targeting. Going forward, it all depends on what are the margins available with us, as well as the spot gas prices, and not spot gas prices, how the oil or Brent, etc., moves, so that, or Henry Hub moves. So we will take a call after that time.
Do you expect the entire jump in volumes which you expect in the second half of the year, mainly on the back of the price cuts which you have done, 3 rupees for CNG and 2 rupees for PNG? Will
Not
that be the
exactly.
volume pusher for you?
No, not exactly because of the price cut only. We have also launched certain schemes which we expect that it will have some impact on the volumes. And also MSRTC has started deploying more buses into CNG, as well as we expect more commercial volume to pick up.
Hmm.
So there is, the target is, we have launched schemes with OEMs of Maruti, Ashok Leyland, and Tata. But we find that if commercial vehicles pick up, the per vehicle fill is much higher in commercial vehicles. So that is the pull we expect that will carry the volume forward.
So that the bulk volumes come from their commercial vehicles, whether it's a bus fleet or other fleets which are coming in. Uh, there is what kind of schemes have you put in for them, because they being the bulk one? I'm sure there would be a different scheme for them, right?
Absolutely. The passenger vehicles, we are giving a card of around 20,000 rupees for a new purchase vehicle of CNG as a fuel card, which can be used in CNG stations.
Hmm.
Whereas for new purchase of commercial vehicle, it depends on the category of vehicle. Going up to 18 ton, we have a scheme of incentivizing around rupees 5 lakh per purchase, or around 5 lakh per conversion from retrofit of diesel to CNG. So that is a substantial amount. We think that around 10 lakh per conversion is required. So we are funding around 5 lakh. It varies from 2 lakh to 5 lakh. So it depends on the weight, the gross vehicle weight of the carrier, that what the scheme will be given to them.
Hmm. Sir, in the PNG market, do you expect further easing of prices there?
PNG, no, I think we have passed on the complete benefit of three tranches. One was in February, then in April, and now currently in 1st October, we passed on the benefit to HPHT gas reduction. So right now, we don't think, because there won't be much variation in terms of pricing. So we don't expect much price change to happen in PNG segment at least.
Okay. Uh, what about your capex plan? You had marked around 800 to 1,000 crores for FY24. Are you on schedule for the entire capex?
We actually do the capex in more capex in the working season, because of the rainy season. In the first two quarter, the capex was slightly subdued. Around 300 CR we have already spent in 2 quarters, and in next 2 quarters we expect to spend another 500 crore or so.
Hmm.
So on yearly basis, around 800 CR is the number which we expect to hit.
Sir, what about geographical expansions? I mean, um, are you bidding for the new blocks which are coming in?
There are hardly very few blocks on 12th round which has come up, and that too in geographies where pipeline connectivity is not yet reached, and the expectations of volume can be slightly subdued in those. So we are evaluating, and if we find some of them to be of our interest, we will definitely have a keen interest in it.
Mm-hmm. We saw during the quarter Delhi coming out with the EV policy, uh, where they've been forcing, or at least the aggregators, to convert fully into CNG, to EV going forward. We haven't seen other state governments following suit yet, but there are expectations that Delhi being the capital city doing it, other metros will also do it, and Mumbai may also, maybe if not for now, maybe next year it may come out and put out timelines across for complete EV, for at least starting with aggregators. How do you see this move? What kind of pressure that could build up for you?
See, there is some difference between the markets of Delhi and Mumbai, especially, and other
Hmm.
metros as well. The Delhi is more policy-driven market where enforcement by the judiciary or the government is much stringent in terms of, actually the pollution also is much higher in Delhi, and that has been the main reason for.
Mumbai is competing with Delhi nowadays, sir.
That's true, very true. But still, it is limited to few days. And the main reason for pollution in Mumbai is maybe the construction is one of the main contributor to the pollution.
Hmm.
I'm not saying the vehicular pollution is not there in Mumbai, but much higher percentage is coming from the construction one. But having said that, we don't think that Mumbai will be so aggressive in forcing one type of technology. And traditionally, also Mumbai is more commercial driven and more economic driven policies are there rather than enforcement related to particular technology. Otherwise, we expect that even in case the Maharashtra takes up the policy, they are not as high numbers as given in the Delhi policy. So we don't know what is the structure of the policy as and when it comes. So we will take
Hmm.
due course of actions whenever it is implemented. However, the impact is more of EVs is expected in two-wheelers and three-wheelers. 90% of EVs in India is two-wheelers and three-wheelers. So two-wheelers anyway, CNG is not there. Even in three-wheelers, the per vehicle fill is slightly less. So if we are getting more volumes from commercial vehicles and buses and other things, so we expect that the shortfall will be more than adequately met by the other segment of the vehicles.
Hmm. But if I'm not wrong, the government is also pushing for new fleets of buses which are going to come in as EV fleets. Especially the central government is pushing that every metro city should be looking at that kind of fleets, and there's floating tenders accordingly. Does that bring in a sense of some kind of a limitation of growth coming in, especially for CNG and bulk customers for you?
Uh, right now, we don't think that it will be having a major impact because BEST is also trying for EVs, but there have been certain issues related to the supplies of EVs and the FAME subsidy and the high capex. And one
That's right.
more peculiarity about Mumbai is that the parking space is very limited in Mumbai. So if they have to run, the range of EVs is slightly less than as compared to the CNG vehicles, CNG
Hmm.
buses. So if they have to run the same numbers, clock the same numbers in the daytime, they will have to almost 1.5 times of the bus fleet has to be increased as far as our broad
Hmm.
macro
Hmm.
level calculations are there. So there's hardly any parking space for the new fleet if they have to add at that high capex. So in that respect, Mumbai will be slightly lower as compared to conversions to EV. That's our calculation. We don't know what's going to happen in future.
Hmm.
However,
But
we are seeing that how we can, promote more of CNG as well in terms of creating more infrastructure and creating more facilities, or trying to give more incentives in that.
may maybe not now, maybe in next 3 years when the entire metro network comes into place and they're looking at feeders to the metros rather than full-fledged uh, you know buses from full route buses basically. Do you see at that time it may be a issue coming up, because at that time you don't need full-fledged buses, you just need feeders coming in, right?
It's not going. We have seen the metros in Delhi. The metro of Delhi is very, very mature as compared to Mumbai. So it hasn't seen that it has impacted the volumes of CNG or diesel or petrol consumption in Delhi. What
Hmm.
happens is, even if metro comes on, you have seen the locals and metros are absolutely jam packed in Mumbai. So whatever relaxation comes to the roads is again occupied by more cars who are not running cars as of now.
Hmm.
So effectively, the volume is not impacted because of metro, because of the sheer volume of passenger traveling is much high, and there's
Hmm.
many of them are not using their cars because of the time which is required for commuting. So as and when there is some less relaxation in the roads, so you will get more cars coming onto the roads. So that
Hmm.
space will be again occupied. I don't think the road space will be absolutely, much more relaxed if the metro comes. What
Hmm.
metro does is that it will not allow the things to go out of control, like what's happened in Delhi. Had the metro been not there, things would have not have been manageable as of now. So it
Hmm.
is that the volume is growing, the commuting is also picking up. So we expect that whatever impact of metro will be substantiated by the vehicular movement on the roads.
That's
Plus,
a
sorry,
Yeah, just a question which what volumes do cab aggregators account for now?
it is around 20%, both yellow, black taxi as well as cab aggregators put together. So the
Okay, so
both.
that's a sizable amount if the policy comes in, so gradual movement would be though it will be on a gradual scale, it would be uh, basically a good number of volumes. But are you looking also at increasing the households as well as a alternate strategy of pushing consumers?
Yeah, that is our strategy as such, because around 3 lakh connections are being added every year. Last year also we have completed 3 lakh. This year already 1 lakh is completed. In another 2 quarters we expect to touch the number of 3 lakhs. So that is one segment which is going to remain irrespective of what happens in other mobility segment. But having said that, again, I like to reiterate that whatever be the EV policy, the CNG is going to pick up in several reasons, like commercial vehicle is one such segment. because CGD infrastructure is getting better and better
Mm.
every year in terms of the stations on the highways. The new OEM models are being launched, so people are, and there is a pressure of environmental pollution as with related to diesel. So all these three things put together, we see that there will be a floating population of trucks and heavy vehicles on highways, which we can capture to compensate for any EV things. But otherwise, also, if you see the queuing in CNG, even if some cars are converted into EVs, I don't think the CNG volumes will be less, because more and more people who are not yet thinking about CNG may come into CNG if the infrastructure is improved of CNG filling in the city also.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Sir, Mr. Singhal, thank you very much for joining us today on BQ Prime, and giving your perspective on how things are moving in the CNG space and what kind of challenge that EV brings into CNG, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.